Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Here we have a gun which I think is really underrated. It is the Kral NPO2. Obviously you can see there it doesn't have a scope one. I've took the scope off. It doesn't have the magazine in. I'm going to show you a magazine in a minute, which I really do rate for this gun, because anybody who's watched any of my previous videos, the original Kral magazines, I hate them. I've had four. Three went in the first 2 months of having the gun. They just, the spring, I can't stand them. But I'm going to show you an aftermarket one in a second. That's a really good magazine. I can't remember if it's 12 or 14 shots. I think it's 14 shots. It's called a high capacity magazine. You can get it online or on eBay. If I can find the link, I'll put it on if I remember. But what I want to do with the Kral today, I've put air in the gun, build it to 200 bar. I'm finally going to do a proper shot count on the gun now that I've found the magazine out. We'll see how many shots I can get before we go into the yellow. And when you go into the yellow on this, that's when it starts, the accuracy starts to drop off noticeably. So yeah, but it's a really good fit gun for me. It did come with an extra piece on the end, but I took that off and I've actually glued that on back onto the butt of the gun. So that makes the reach of pull for me now. That there is absolutely ideal. The cheek piece is ideal for me line of sight. So when I've got my sight on, I don't have to fiddle around. It's just a simple case of lining up, and it works a treat. It's not a bad gun, this, it really isn't. I really do rate these for the money. The only thing I don't like is the terrible magazine. Other than that, got a great shot count. So let's find out what it is. The Kral NPO2. I think when I got this new, I think I paid just over £300 for it. I have seen it as much as £400, but if you can get for around about the 300 to 340 mark, I think you're getting a really good gun. That's an absolute bargain. And with this silencer on, it's whisper quiet, so you'll see in a second. Right now, that's what I would normally use. The one shot magazine. Simply put your pellet in there, push it in, and at least then you know you're not going to have any problems with the standard. But you can buy these online. It's called a high capacity magazine. Let's have a quick count. 1, 2, 14 shots. It's actually 14 shots, and it works an absolute treat. So basically all you're doing is you turn the magazine, drop your pellet in, turn it again, drop it in, turn it again, and that's it. And the spring on this is much sturdier than the flimsy little things that you get. You can get them in different colours. I'm not being paid to promote these at all. It's just I really do rate them, and you'll see what it's like. You'll see how it indexes really well. It won't at the minute because it's got nothing in it. There's a little groove there. You can see that groove. It just simply slots in to the gun, and then obviously that won't close because there's not a pellet there. It's stopping it. But that's it. And obviously it does protrude a bit, so you've got to have a scope that will go over the top of there. So you've got to have reasonably high mounts. Not massively high, but reasonably high. So yeah, it's a great looking thing. So let's load this up and we'll do the shot count on the Kral NPO2. I'm going to look for some cheap pellets. There's no point in using decent pellets. So I'll find some cheap 2.2 pellets and we'll get this loaded up. Speaking of that absolute rubbish magazine, there it is there. Absolute rubbish. Worth nothing, rubbish. And I'm going to use up the mosquitoes. Brand new tin actually, so I might do a little chronograph on a couple of these pellets just to see what they're knocking out of interest. So forget about the Spitfires. Let's have a look at these. These are better made. These are the Webley Mosquito Expresses. Right, what grams are there? Right, tether again. That is 0.93 grams. Try another one. Try it again. 0.91. 0.94. Right, 0.94. It was that one, wasn't it? Was it that one? 0.9. 0.94. So there's two 0.94s. I think I'll do 3. 0.94. There's another 3. So I'll use the single shot magazine first. We'll put those 3 through the chronograph. What was it? 0.94. Right. 0.94. We'll put that through the chronograph and we'll see what pounds it's putting out using these 3 pellets. So I'll have to remember to add those 3 onto the other shot count. So what you could do, you can either just drop it in or you can push it in, which is what I do normally from the back, and then push it forward, and that's it. Safety's on. That's the power dial. You can turn that up and down. Fully clockwise is full power. So let's test what the result is. Forgive the seagulls in the background. I do live near the coast. Right. 0.94. Let's give this a go. Safety off. 13.52. 556.4. See that? See that? Oh, see that? Yeah. There you go. 13.52. Try again. Right. Try it again. 13.63. 558.7. Do one more. That one is 13.3. 551.9. So the highest was 13.63, I think it was. 13.63. So it's not overly powerful, but the gun is pretty accurate, so I'm happy with that. Right, so that's 3 shots done. Let's see us do the rest. Right, discard them. They're getting chucked in the bin. These are the mosquitoes. So we've done 3 shots up to now. I'll have to remember to add that on. And to use this, it's just simple. Case of dropping it in, and that's it. Push it in. And this magazine is brilliant and it works for me every time. And those things are absolute rubbish. When I bought me air arms, I asked first off to look at the magazine before I decided whether to go for the 500 or the 510. And I just didn't like, and I'm sure the air arms magazines are pretty good, but I just don't like plastic magazines. And I know that's plastic, but what I mean is I don't like the plastic ones that are, you have to turn like so. They're just sooner or later that spring's going to go. Yeah, the spring's going to go on that one, but there's very little tension there, so it's under no strain. And I've used this hundreds of times, this particular magazine, and up to now it's never let us down once. So there's 14 shots. I think I better get a piece of paper, because if I don't I will forget how many shots I've done. 2 seconds. Right, I'll just quickly work that out. 13.63 joules is 10.2 0.053 foot-pounds, so 10 foot-pounds basically. I've done 3 shots when I was chronographing the gun. That's 3 shots there. So now the magazine's a 14 shot magazine, so every time I use a mag, I'll just put a tick going down, and we'll work it out at the end how many shots it is. Then I'll add that onto the 3. That's what this gun is doing, and that will be our shot count. So let's have a go at this. Right, let this begin. This is going to take a while. Shot 1. No, actually, this is shot 4, isn't it? Yeah, shot 4. Anymore. Right, how quickly was that? So I'll mark that down. So that is 1 magazine of 14 shots. Load them up again. At least this lets you see how quickly you can use this magazine. In actual fact, I might dare order some more of these mags out, because they're excellent. Because they're a good size as well, they're nice and chunky. Easy to hold on to, because I have trouble with this dexterity. Don't like fiddly stuff. Right, because I don't have a lot of time, I'm only going to go to 150 bar, so I'll shoot from 200 to 150, so the halfway mark. So will I be able to then, whatever figure I come to, double that figure, and that will be the correct shot count? Because what I've looked online, the maximum shot count for Kral NPO2s is around about 200 shots. But the shots that I've gotten is way more than that. So will that be the correct figure, or should I have done the full 200 to 100 bar to get the correct figure? Either way, it's a lot of shots. There you go. Just like that. 2. Right then. So we've got on bang on halfway. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this gun will take 24 of the high capacity magazines, and then there was 3 shots, so that gives us a grand total of 342 shots, going from green full to green empty, so in other words just before the yellow mark. So obviously I went to halfway there, so double that, like we doubled this. So this gun is capable of 24 magazines, high capacity magazines, plus the 3 shots, so a total shot count of 342. Amazing little shot count that is. Brilliant. Right then guys, so the shot count, we only went halfway, but if you were to go from 200 bar right down to 100 bar just before the yellow, you're going to get 342 shots from the Kral NPO2. What a brilliant little gun, and an amazing shot count. So I hope that was of some interest to you guys. Awesome, brilliant little gun. And so is that magazine. Brilliant. Thanks for watching guys. See ya. 342 shots. Awesome.